G'day everyone, and welcome to this week's weekly Camera Ready Confessions, a live stream bridging personal branding and video marketing so you shine as the obvious choice. I'm your host, Zoë Wood, your video confidence coach, helping you shine as the obvious choice using your personalized content engine. And you are watching this stream on your platform of choice. You can also watch us on YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitch, and Facebook. Of course, all our updates and show notes for this live stream will be available at vcc.training/camera-ready-confessions, like they are every week, where we do a solid write-up of all of our thoughts and all of our plans during today's live stream, as well as answering any questions that you have as they come up. So I'm going to bring up my voice a little bit to make sure that I am at an appropriate level. So welcome everyone. And yes, I do realize that I am a bit warm for some reason, despite the fact that I have color coded more than once. So I love it when it does this to me. Let's see if I can take it down a smidge. Oh, there we go. Take it down a smidge. So I'm not sure if that even showed up on your end, but here we are. And for my own personal reference, here we are. So, and a couple of people have been asking, this is my camera color corrector card that you can access via the link in the show notes, where essentially I send you real mail. This is a postcard that I send to you with real mail on it and show you how to use it. And that helps you do what I just did there, being able to color grade after the fact to make sure that it is perfectly within the realm of what I am happy with. So, if you have any comments, questions, thoughts, or ideas for Camera Ready Confessions, please do throughout the live stream. I'm always happy to answer your questions. Or if you're on the replay squad, #replay squad. I don't even know if hashtags actually work anymore. I'll let you know how that goes. I'll respond to your calls in the comments. I always do within a couple of days of you posting them. So thank you everyone. Before we move on, I would like to acknowledge and pay my respects to the Wadawurrung people of the Kulin Nation, the traditional custodians of the land on which I conduct my business. I pay my respects to their elders, past and present. I stand with the traditional custodians of these lands in working towards a more equal future. Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people continue to face discrimination and disadvantage due to our country's colonial past. I stand with them in their fight against injustice. Always was, always will be Aboriginal land. And as this goes live on the 29th of May 2026, it is currently Reconciliation Week. So as I have mentioned in past, leading up to Reconciliation Week, because this is a big week, also NAIDOC week as we get into June, it is more than just a time to recognise, obviously, Indigenous people. Like, obviously, that's what it's for. But it is also a time to actively reflect back and see what you can do to help your local Indigenous community. If this is, even if you are unable to, say, monetarily donate, being able to donate your time or being able to donate some of your skills, if that is possible, and if that is not at all possible, being able to support people within your local Indigenous community who are doing, doing things for the community and doing best things for the community. As we like to say here on Video Confidence Coach, I have two charities that I work with, which is the Wadawurrung Co-op, which is obviously where the land on which I stand is the local co-op for the region, and we have JIRA, which is all Victorian based for women and families escaping domestic violence. I want to do my best to support not just my chosen charities, but also the Indigenous people that I work with. Reconciliation Week is a time of real bringing to the forefront when it comes to Indigenous issues. For example, Game Time Coffee, hi boys, we're currently at Parliament House this week. So I congratulate you on the work that you're doing and continuing to do. And as we head forlong into NAIDOC week, make sure that everyone is doing their best to be supported. Reach out for support if you need to do so during this time, because you deserve it and you need it and you're worth it. And looking forward over this past week, as we have said, I am looking for any program managers, community admins who are looking for people to speak on personal branding and video marketing. I'm your girl, do let me know, and I will be formulating messages over the next coming weeks to help sort that out. Over the past week, we've had a fair few conversations. Did I write anyone's name down? No, of course I didn't. But I have definitely had chats with. Now I'm going to pop over to my calendar so I can thank everyone properly, because it's been a very, very full-on week. So I'm going to thank Jessica. I'm also going to thank Kylie. I'm going to thank everyone that I saw at the hands-on workshop for LinkedIn based for the Geelong Council that I was there on Monday morning. Hello to everyone. Rick, Lena, Kerry, and of course Simone, and obviously Karen. What was I going to say? Karen Hollenbach of Think Bespoke. So thank you for everything that you gave, all the insights that you gave to me regarding LinkedIn. They will definitely be used. They will definitely be used to grow my platform on LinkedIn. So thank you so much to Think Bespoke. That's the logo. And that's the name. So thank you again, Karen, for that, and everyone that I met. Also for Mel, Jasper, and Jason, as well as Gulliver and Grant. I know. I should have written these down. I probably should have written these down for you. And of course, Alice. Thank you so much. And thank you to everyone who, I've had conversations with and joined me over this past week. So I usually like that as an opportunity to thank everyone that I've met. And if I haven't mentioned you by name, do not worry. Please put your name down in the comments and I'll make sure to mention you by name next week. And for all of those who are watching and or caring, it has been the Unboring Your Brand week. We have been up to, we are up to episode 113, which was released on Wednesday. And this was all about what if your audience doesn't care? I wonder what that is like. No, I say that with love and with jest. There has been plenty of situations where I come to where I work with people where they've tried something and it's not a case that they haven't tried hard enough. It's more that they've tried with not a lot of support and not a lot of commitment and then are surprised when nothing comes back to them. I usually like to work with people on setting goals and setting expectations that better improve them and then their audience, which I know is contradictory to what I say about personal branding being about your audience and not you. But you're the one doing the work. So sometimes you need to put yourself forward just a little bit. But that is what we're focusing on that podcast this week. And of course, next week, you will check out more details about obviously answering all your personal branding and video marketing questions. And looking forward to our Vic podcasters. So Vic podcasters, we obviously have our upcoming event, which we are gearing for and rapidly heading towards. So let me just make sure I get my details up. My apologies, everyone. I'm usually more on top of this week. I'm just trying to figure out why I am not on top of it. I think it's just because it's been a very heavy week. It's been a very, very intense week, and I apologize if I seem at all off. At all. It's been a very intense week. But to all my Vic podcasters, and hello to everyone who is joining me from the Vic podcasters. Or, you could just tell me the details. I don't have to remember everything off the top of my head. The upcoming event will be on June 24th, so about a month from now, a little bit less than a month from when this is recorded. We have our quarterly Q&A, and this one's going to be for advanced podcast people. So these are people who have been in the trenches for a little bit and giving podcasting a red hot go. And now you're hearing all this talk about video podcasts and obviously monetization. What do we do from here? Where do we go from here? So on the 24th of June 2026, that is a Wednesday night from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Melbourne time, you will have our Q&A discussion of you've got episodes, now what? Let's talk video, growth, and money. So I come to you as not just the admin of not just the admin of Vic Podcasters, but also I come to you as someone who is in this situation as well. I don't just go straight to video podcasting because obviously it's in the name, but because it has worked for me in the channels that I choose and in the strategy that I choose. And for a lot of people, it's not. So we'll have a discussion about that and how it may work for you as someone who is in podcasting, and whether or not the faff of video podcasting is worth that to you and your audience. Because again, it's all about your audience. And welcome on to the next part of what we're talking about today. So as you can probably imagine, today's subject is all about strong stories sell without selling. Now, I'm sure this is not the first time that you have been told something along those lines regarding telling stories in your marketing. And there isn't really examples when people say that. They usually lightly mention that in a top 5 type video, or maybe it's mentioned as the start of a podcast, and then it kind of all rambles out without real point or anything really driving it. And I'm going to tell you this. When it comes to stories, there are plenty of formulas you can learn. There are plenty of things out there that help you remember how to go about this. I just want you to take a step back and realize that the reason that stories sell, or the reason that they work effectively for personal brand builders, and I want to stress that, and when I'm saying that, is because it's coming from your own experience. And that is becoming harder and harder to see and to engage with in this online marketplace. Not just because AI is encroaching and doing its thing, because of course it is. It has, and it has been for 3 years. What I'm talking about is people needing and understanding where you're coming from, understanding your expertise, and ultimately your wisdom. Because you aren't coming to them as a fresh slate. Even if, and I'm going to say this to all my younger personal brand builders out there, yes, you may be coming from someone who is younger in life, but that does not mean you lack experience. If you've gone through school, that is an experience in itself. And when you start working and making your way into the adult world, your 20s are going to suck. More like the rest of your life is going to suck. But no. Stay with me. Your 20s are going to suck. But I'm going to tell you now, as someone who is currently in their early 30s and entering into their early 30s, that will change. You will start and begin to feel a lot more, not just in control of your life, even though the world is completely out of control, but you will have 10 years of adult experience to be able to use and give that back to your audience. Because again, this isn't about you. This isn't about your clients. No. This isn't about you and your life story. You're using stories to give context. You're using stories to be able to string people along. Because if they wanted an answer, if they wanted a straightforward answer, they could go to ChatGPT. They could go to Claude. They could go to insert AI tool here. Or, as Google has recently announced as this goes live, they've, the Google, the front door to the internet, has decided that we're going to go full AI. I'm like, cool. Is the alternative still there? Because that's what some people really want. And I am aware that people are going to be pulled in, kicking and screaming. Humans like ease. I just don't enjoy all the negatives that come along with it, as it continues to do. When it comes to telling your story, I don't want you to feel like you need to hide everything. Now, of course, you can, hide the identities of family and friends and whoever you're talking about, because safety. Duh. People need to know that you have experience in what you're talking about. And the way that you do this is a simple formula that I give out there all the time. That is, I guess, a signature formula that I have. Maybe I should patent it. Who knows? Nah, I get it. The formula that I like to use for people. Now, this is a formula that if you really need something tactile from what I'm going to give you today, this is it. The formula is ASR, answer, story, recap. Now, this can be a formula that can go from 5 to 10 seconds all the way to 2, 5, 6 hours. You are starting with an answer when people are asking you a question, as if imagine you're sitting down in a kitchen, either with a family member or a friend that you like. And when you have conversations, it is a conversation. You're asking questions, you're leaning in, you're asking clarifications, you're pausing and stopping the story to get clarification on things. You are enjoying what's happening in their lives and gaining their wisdom. That is the same that's happening for your personal brand. It just happens to be about something that your audience cares about. And with that method, you start off, people ask you a question, you start with the answer. You do it as simple as possible. Now, of course, you quickly follow that up by a story. You give context, you give wisdom, and you give experience to why you gave that answer. Now, this story part is usually the longest part, which is why the recap is the part that follows at the end, where once you've told your story, you recap what you've just said to be able to affirm why you gave the story in the first place. And there you go. Formula, start to finish. 1, 2, 3, ASR. But what I've given you now doesn't really, cool, you've given me a formula, Zoe, but it doesn't really give much substance, does it? So let's take you on an example recently. So, does the world feel bleak? Yes. Does the world feel like it's collapsing around us? Yes. And that could be due to many things. And recently, I am finishing up my tenure with a group that I have been volunteering with for a couple of years now. So I volunteer with a local TAFE near me, where they run a course around this time of year for entrepreneurship. As you can imagine, I was talking with, I think, one of the teachers 5, 8 years ago, and I was brought on to be a mentor. And it became quickly apparent to me that all the other mentors that were around were people that had been retired or semi-retired. And they were usually men, and they were usually much older. No offense to you, love ya. I am definitely not that. And over the years, I learnt that, and again, all I was doing was investing maybe 2 or 3 hours of my time per week. And due to my efficiency and my processes, managed to put the down a little bit less. But I still wanted to give my best to not just my local community, but also the future. I never really quite understood people's understanding of legacy. I want to have kids so I can leave a legacy. I want to build an empire so I can leave a legacy. I never really quite understood that because I was more about the clients here and now. They need my help right now. You need my help right now. And I want to give you the answers right now. But talking to these kids, understanding their distress, understanding their concern, it made me realize that this is what legacy is about, is not just giving a solace, not just giving this feeling of reassurance that everything will be fine. Because I can't promise that. I'm not a wizard who's telling the future with a crystal ball. But I want to tell them that I have been through so much shit in my life and still been able to come out the other side. Because I learnt to love myself, to be okay with my flaws, and then I sought out family. I found my family. I sought out friends who I love and care for and cherish. And yes, that's going to require making some mistakes, some big mistakes. But that's what life is. And in this world of, AI, people losing their jobs, nothing is secure. The feeling of perfection, especially for these kids, keeping in mind these kids are around about 14 to 17. They don't like me calling them kids, by the way. They're teenagers. Teens. No, you're kids. You're under the age of 18. And they look at me going, what? No, they don't appreciate it. It is a genuine feeling of being upset with the state of the world. But choosing not to act because of your need for it to be perfect, for you to never make mistakes, is not the way that you go about doing it. It's not the way that you go about making change for your client's life, but also for yours. Why do you think I do my best to give as much as I can while also trying to support myself and my family? Because I now have that ability to make a mistake but still not be fired at the end of it, because who's going to fire me? Me? If I was going to do that, I would have done it ages ago. This world may seem incredibly chaotic, incredibly saddening, but as long as you do your best to not be perfect and cultivate a community of people that you like and enjoy hanging out with, you will get through it. That's what community is all about. Did you see what I did there? Now, that was a bit more rambly, and of course, it's in my style and in my flair because, of course, this is Zoë Wood, the video confidence coach. I'm not just giving you a random, piece of ABC and trying to get you to go through it. The ASR method is designed to be incredibly flexible. Like my other methodology of BFM. What is your bare effing minimum that you can do to get started, to get going? Doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just keep going. Now, these are tools I use every day, multiple times a day, with clients that I work with every single day. Why? Because this is my wisdom. This is my wisdom that I'm giving to you. Yes, in formulas and methods so that people can understand, because that's the point of communication and marketing and messaging. And when it comes to building and growing your personal brand, you need to be clear. That's what I try and do. Now, did I lose you in some of that messaging? Sure. Did I lose some of you in that little story there? Sure. But I didn't lose everyone, did I? And the people who are there sticking around are the people that I want to serve, are the people that I want to help. So I thank you if you have joined me this far. And if you haven't, that's also okay. Not everything is going to resonate with everyone. But in telling a story and doing this to sell a point, now I could quite easily from here give you a call to action, a CTA, to book in an appointment with me, or go to my toolbox, or join me on a live stream on a Friday, or subscribe to my podcast. I can do anything. But from here, I just want you to be aware that this tool exists. This mental tool exists. This gives you something to work off, something to strive for. It's not too many steps. It's 3 steps. And you can do this without trying. It just requires some practice and making some mistakes, of which you are fully capable of. I believe in you. Thank you for my little rant there about selling with stories. Now we're going to move on to our weekly. That's right, community questions. So this is where I take the opportunity. We only have 3 today, which is nice. We take the opportunity to do really fast, really quick answers to people's questions. We have Mason, Lucas, and Ethan. Okay. Yes. So these questions aren't necessarily going to be about the topic at hand because, you know me, why would I be following my own advice? Nah, kid. No, I do follow my own advice. I just have a tendency of running whole hard and just seeing what's going to break. Because what's the point of experimenting if you can't break a few things every now and again, like your own processes or systems or plans? So in these questions today, I'm going to do my best to be as succinct as possible, as consistent as possible. And I'm going to do my best to make sure that I answer these questions for you, the audience. So we're going to start off with Mason, and it looks like we're going to be talking about how to create content that builds trust and leads to sales. So when it comes to podcasts on your marketing, if you're, say, 2 to 3 years in, you're fairly comfortable, your cash flow is going okay, you're paying your debts, you're doing your things, and you've got the capacity to start showcasing yourself and your knowledge and trying to be that authority in your particular niche or space, a podcast is a great spot for you. It is a great opportunity. It is really easy to start, especially if you're only focusing on an audio-only platform. And if you are a yapper, to be honest, most of the people that I attract are yappers. We like to talk and like to talk. So for those type of people, a podcast is great. People are posting, people are liking it, but nobody's buying. What gives? Well, Mason, that's how I personify you, but don't worry. I'm Zoë Wood, your video confidence coach, helping you shine as the obvious choice using your own personalized content engine. And the linking between people liking something and enjoying something on the internet does not necessarily correspond to buying something on the internet. So when it comes to making that leap, making that bridge there, Mason, it ultimately comes down to building trust, which then will lead to sales. People need to understand that the investment that they're putting in you, be it time, energy, or money, they want to know that they're going to get a return on investment. Now, This can be for anything that you're doing and anything that you're selling. And just because people are liking it is not necessarily the people who are going to take that next step with you. So to build that trust, you need to continue doing what you're doing, continue looking at your analytics and your insights, I should say. And from there, do your best to focus on the specific people who are going to buy from you and cater directly to them. Now, I'm not talking about being generic, because you could be, achieve, 100 likes, 1,000 likes. But if you're getting no sales out of it, then what is the point? You need to be really clear on your message. You really need to be clear on who you're talking to them and why you're talking to them. And once you nail that down, you'll be able to generate the videos because you clearly already have a formula that works. People are liking it. Awesome. Now let's focus on the people who are going to pay you money. And then once they pay you money, you can start expanding to the people that maybe won't pay you money right now, but will pay you money in the future, building that trust along as you go. But in the meantime, take action and focus on those people who will buy from you. You've heard that the algorithm on many socials favors faces. And yes, that is definitely true, because humans like to connect with faces. We like to see other faces and we like to see what they look like and what they're about. And on social media, and especially the algorithm, is based on our actions and the actions of whatever the social media overlords want us to do. But I digress. So if you are able to get your face onto camera and you're confident about having your face out there, then do it. Practice a couple of times, maybe even film a different couple of videos before you put anything out there. And then once you put that video out there, make sure that you share it with the community, like us here, or you share the video to other groups that you're a part of, maybe just to get some feedback on what you can improve on, in a nice way, of course, because people are willing to support other people. And the algorithm favors a lot of things at any different time. I highly recommend that you don't dictate your actions. I don't want to spend hours editing my videos. That season of my life can get in the bin. Well, don't worry, Lucas. I'm here for you. I'm Zoë Wood, your video confidence coach, helping you shine as the obvious choice using your personalized content engine. And when it comes to editing videos, I'm going to tell you now, the polished stuff, like the really polished, snazzy videos, are losing their edge. Why? Because AI can do it for you in seconds. People are losing interest in those types of videos. So to be honest, the less editing, the better when it comes to your videos. My recommendation, top and tail, which is the start of your video where you're doing like the millennial pause, and then you breathe in and start talking, get that out. You have 3 to 5 seconds to get this done. Work faster. And then at the end, cut out the bit where you're getting up and pressing the record button again. And then from there, things in the middle usually can be removed by either removing silences or, anything like that. But that is more like adding, sugar to the top. For the cherry on top, you can start by putting on captions. And again, these can all be done relatively easily with the, say, Instagram Edits app, which is a free app, or the VN editing app, which is a free editing app, because you want to reduce the friction between you recording a video, you putting light edits on it, light being the opposite word, light being the operative word there, and then posting the video, getting it out there, getting it done. Do not focus on the small stuff, especially if it's videos that talk about current events that are only going to last you 24 to 48 hours most of algorithm time. Get it done, get it out there. You don't need to edit things perfectly. And if you do, hire someone for it. You do not have time for that. And if you are someone who maybe doesn't have that time or energy or funds to hire someone to edit, start with what you can do at the meantime. Start with what you can do for now. Because Lucas, you've got this. You just need to take the pressure off yourself. Do your best to give value and let people down easy if they're not the right fit for you, but continue to keep giving more than you're taking, especially in a network connotation. Thank you for the support, Amanda. Yes. Make sure to seek out people who are parallel to you, as in businesses who are not your competitors, but people who align with the work that you do. And if not, maybe spend some time thinking about that. That might be useful to you. And Amanda definitely reinstates the trial and error aspect of networking, because especially when networking, not just in Geelong, but in other cities and townships around the world, I would imagine, there are some specific nuances, especially with different groups and networking initiatives, which I will get to later. You don't need more ideas. You don't need more ideas, you need content that gets you clients. I'm Zoë Wood, your video confidence coach, helping you shine as the obvious choice using your content engine. And Ethan asked me specifically, what kind of content helps me attract ready-to-buy clients? Now, when it comes to ready-to-buy clients, these are people who trust you, who like you enough to be able to go and follow the links that you provide in your bio, in captions, or wherever you've put them, and trust your website, like the look of it, and buy. Now, how do you build trust enough to attract those clients? Well, you need to be very direct, you need to be very clear in your messaging, and you need to be able to not just provide benefits or the features of your product. You need to give the emotional core of why people should give a shit about you. And you need to tell them clearly and directly. This starts off by knowing exactly who you're talking to them, like why you're talking to them, and also what values align between you and them. When you're growing your personal brand, it's not about you, it's about your audience. And they need to know that you are the person for the job, for whatever problem that they are facing. Whether it's imagined or real, or maybe it's something that they're putting off because they don't actually think a solution exists for them in their price range, in their energy range, in their effort range. But if you have the answer for them, you need to tell them that. You need to tell them again and again and again, Ethan. Why? Because they need to hear from you. And the kind of content that is depends entirely on your audience, what they're going to be surprised by, what they're going to be delighted by, and honestly, what they really need to hear and see. Does that require a video? Awesome. Do a ton of videos. Does it require maybe a white paper or something they can hand to a higher up? Awesome. Do that. Or, what is more likely for you, Ethan, do a combination of different types of things. Some that are easy for you, maybe some things that are hard for you. Either way, you're doing it for them. It starts off by knowing who they are first. If you're tired of the old... And thank you everyone for joining me for those community questions. Now, I was fairly succinct, I think, in some of them. That second one I was a little bit too long, but my apologies there. I will intend to edit that down for you to make it easy enough to consume on wherever I end up posting it. Definitely not LinkedIn. So I want to thank Karen Hollenbach, specifically from Think Bespoke, for her LinkedIn walkthrough session that she did for the Geelong community on Monday morning. So essentially, she gave me a lot of tips, of which I will be divulging for you over the next Camera Ready Confessions, probably. And when it comes to LinkedIn, there are so many things to think about, to worry about. But I want to let you know that when it comes to video on LinkedIn, it is not working right now. And I say that with love, mainly because, like, when it comes to LinkedIn, the people that are on it are wide and diverse. It used to be very, like, CEO focused, very people. That has definitely changed. And when it comes to LinkedIn, if you are doing anything to do with business, get on LinkedIn. It may not be your cup of tea, but once you start interacting with people, networking with people, and getting leads, of which I consistently do, LinkedIn is the place to do it. The algorithms move slow. Everything is like 5 to 10 years behind every other social platform. So what worked then 5 years ago is going to work on LinkedIn now. And I say that with love, by the way. And even though videos don't work on LinkedIn or work effectively on LinkedIn, the content from your videos do. You can turn them into GIFs, which is what I've been doing. You can turn them into PDFs. You can turn them into infographics, because people are going to be scrolling LinkedIn on their way to and from work, between meetings, and videos aren't necessarily what they're doing to sit and absorb the information that you're willing to give them, which is perfectly fine. Hurts me a little bit, but it's perfectly fine. So in those instances, What can you do? We're going to adapt, baby. And speaking of adaptation, we're going to talk about our next topic, which is going to be the Unboring a Brand episode of Gone Viral, Now What? Ah! Going to try going to them, saying hi, and they'll probably welcome you into the conversation and they'll continue having the conversation they were already having. But you can bring them on board and they can bring you in, you can have a little chat. For situations where you're walking into it and you don't know anyone. So you've gone viral. My congratulations and my condolences. A lot has happened in a very short amount of time, and for the next few days, this will decide whether this becomes a story that you will tell at a dinner later, or you are going to tell a story on stage. Either way, we need to act now, and we need to act now fast. Welcome to Unboring Your Brand with your host, Zoë Wood, the Video Confidence Coach. And yes, thank you for joining me today. Even if your content hasn't gone viral right now and you're not watching this or listening to this because your stuff has gone viral, I want you to keep this in mind as your resource for when it inevitably does. Not just because you're following my advice, the Video Confidence Coach, but because you're actively working, putting your stuff out there, testing your message, and you're putting in the hours. So you're eventually going to get something that resonates with enough people to go viral. And I want to thank specifically Donna, a good business friend of mine, from Mentor My Success. You can find all her details in the description below in that first link in the show notes. So essentially what happened was Donna reached out to me a while ago. I've forgotten when it was exactly. And what had happened is she had been quite consistently, quite regularly putting out content that she was creating with companies throughout Geelong and on Wadawurrung country. And one of these videos that she had filmed herself had popped off. Now, this was specifically targeting the specific thing that was targeting for her. I just realized I should probably give you a bit more context as to what I'm doing. Okay, well, we'll cut that bit out first, Zoe, and then we'll keep going. Oops. And before I begin, I want to specifically thank Donna, who is a business friend of mine, from Mentor My Success, which is in that first link in the description. In the show notes, you'll find all her details there. And she'll be used as the case study for this example. But I also want to give you a couple of ideas that, looking back now, and the information that I have in my expertise and wisdom, to be able to give you to get this started. So, long story short, and I'll get more into the episode today, the question that she asked was, one of my videos has suddenly took off, and now I'm panicking. What do I actually do in the next few days to turn this into something real? And I don't blame Donna for this, and I totally understand her reaching out to me, and I did my best to give her succinct answers in a clearest fashion that I possibly could, because time is of the essence, especially when you go viral. But let's step back a little bit, and if you're joining me for having your content go viral, don't worry, I'm going to be using your time wisely. The reason for this is because when your first instinct when going viral, now to clarify what virality is when a post, so when a video, when an image, when a article, whatever you have, has a lot more engagement. Usually virality has multiple different, because it's not really a defined term, but for me and my line of work, anything that exceeds more than 8% of your usual engagement rate is virality. And this engagement rate you can find in your insights and your metrics of whichever platform it has gone viral on. Because keeping in mind, just because something goes viral on one platform doesn't necessarily mean that the same thing is going to go viral on all platforms, unless you make it. Let's talk about that later. And when it comes to virality, I'm going to tell you now, it's not something that you necessarily always want. Now, I know, no, don't click off, and I know how you feel. Your thought is like, but isn't this what I want? It's what the platforms tell you that you want. And the reason for this is because the more eyes that they get, the more ads that they can put in front of people. And I would say realistically, about, say, 5+ years ago, going viral did change people's lives. And now, no, not so much, because of the state of the internet. But as I continue, but when you do go viral, like I said, when it reaches 8% more of your engagement statistics than anything else of what you do, here is what you need to do first. I understand that your first instinct is to figure out why it went viral, so you can do it again multiple times over. I'm going to tell you now, as like the video confidence coach to you, I'm going to tell you now to skip that. Don't worry about how it went viral, just the fact that it did. So the clock is ticking, and when it comes to the algorithm, specifically the algorithm that you got virality on, this could be Instagram, this could be Facebook, this could be LinkedIn, this could be TikTok, this could be Reddit, this could be Substack, whatever platform you are posting on and whatever method you are on that algorithm, it is paying attention to you right now, not later. That is why we need to take action immediately. And in your first 48 hours, you need to be able to do one thing. And that one thing is keep the conversation going on the post itself. You need to reply to comments. You need to, especially question-shaped ones, you need to reply to those. Now, you can do this a couple of ways. You can reply quickly, seamlessly in the comments themselves, in just a reply comment. And do your best not to be too emotional or too descriptive or too in-depth. The idea is people are asking you questions, give them the answer that you best can in the fewest amount of words. Why? Because if it's gone viral, you are going to have a lot of questions. You are going to have a lot of people reaching out. And do your best to reply, to comment, even if it is an emoji or two, just so that people who have interacted with your viral post are going to come back and either find out what you answered, or they're going to continue the conversation, which eventually will earn you more trust and hopefully get you to a lead, or it's going to help you spread the post out more to make it more viral. Yes, I know. So as we keep going, I'm going to ask you to do one thing for me. So your first job in that 48 hours is to continue the conversation going on that post. Don't let it be your bread and butter paid things. For your paid work, focus on that. But in those moments of downtime, do your best to foster this relationship that you have with people who have either just discovered you or loved you for a very long time and want to continue the conversation. And as you are doing this, please, for the love of God, screenshot. Take evidence of this time, not just because it's like, great, you're getting the numbers and the numbers look good as the numbers go up and the graph go up, but because when people are asking you questions, you can use this content again in the future. When people are asking you questions, you can actively create more viral posts in the future because you've got you're answering questions right here, right now. And also, it also showcases not just your wisdom and your knowledge and your connoisseurship, which is different to any AI who will never be able to do what you do. You've also got proof that you know what you can do. And the people who will never meet you in this world are going to show that they like you. I want you to save this evidence. Again, this is proof of what you can do, not just the virality numbers, but answering people's questions. You want to save this proof for your pitches, for your proposals, and for those days when you forget why you started. Add it to your smile file. So a smile file is a tool that you can go back in the archive of the Unboring Your Brand podcast. And I talk about it, and I think I allude it into a podcast episode. You'll have to go back and check that out. But a smile file is essentially a collection on your computer, on your desktop, in an Evernote, in a Notion, wherever it is. It's somewhere where you can go on those days when you feel down and look at the proof and evidence that you know your stuff. That not people love you for who you are, because of course, yes, it's nice, but your personal brand is about helping your audience. And proof that you can do that consistently and often is nice to see and remind yourself why you're here and why you're doing what you're doing. So keep those in a special place in that smile file. use twofold. Use that content in future when you're ready or when you're running out of ideas. Pull up those viral comments in those posts. Awesome, cool, you can answer those questions. And also keep them in your smile file for future you, who may feel a bit rocky in the future when the virality wears off. Yes, I may have alluded to the unhappy ending in that respect. All right, come on, let's keep going. And in the event that your virality is so large that the comments are too many for you to manage, for you to handle with what you're currently doing in your personal brand and say your day job, or maybe your personal brand and like you're running your business and like making money, again, the thing that makes money, hand that job off. Delegate. Get a family member, a friend, a team member, 5 minutes, or just pick 3 to 5 of the most common questions. Do your best to kind of cover and document. But if you do have that option to hand it off. Even if it is like something that you just pay a friend to do for a little bit. Obviously, do it with someone that you can either do in person or someone that you highly trust. Do not give your access codes to anyone who you have not met in real life and do not know in real life. Please, for security, safety concerns. Okay, so we've already established we're going to use the next 48 hours effectively. You are going to keep that conversation going. You are going to comment. You are going to respond. You are going to screenshot and take evidence of the things that not just attract your attention, but attract a lot of attention and comments and likes and shares. Again, I haven't even mentioned what the video post is, and I haven't even mentioned anything about the platform itself. We are about you here. Now, step 2, within that 48 hours, when you have time and capacity, I want to stress, just because you are going viral does not mean you need to drop everything. I've seen that happen with people and then things just peter out and follow out because of course they do. Do what you're doing with the capacity that you can. Remember, this is a nice cherry on top. It's not the end of the world. So within that 48 hours, I want you to create a response video. Try your best to pause whatever is currently in the pipeline or scheduled from previous content, because that will dilute your message. That will dilute what you're trying to do and what you're trying to say. Do your best just to pause the stuff that's currently going on. It can run on your other platforms, but the one that's going viral, you focus. And then with that response video, you open with the same 3 to 5 seconds of that viral post. So you repurpose that old post, but you use the first 3 to 5 seconds where you're like a question or maybe something happens or whatever. Because again, that first 3 to 5 seconds is what really captures people's attention, what really gets them engaged, stops them from scrolling, using that little thumb of theirs. So in that moment, take that 3 to 5 seconds and then cut in a response video where obviously the algorithm recognizes the first 3 to 5 seconds, will watch it, and then the viewers can connect the dots. That is what you want to do. You want to make this super clear for these viewers who have definitely already watched and enjoyed the virality of your previous content. The algorithm will feed them again. Why? Because the algorithm is constantly feeding people stuff that they already liked. No matter which platform you're on, that is what's happening. So in that response video, you want to use those first 3 to 5 seconds of the viral video so people can connect the dots between what they're watching and this response video. And then with the response video, you are going to answer the questions you received in step 1. You are going to pull from that content that is already in the pipeline first, or maybe the biggest question or the most commonly asked questions. And I want you to take this time not to try and film any fresh content in this panic window other than the response video, because you'll just, again, like I said, you'll dilute the message. You'll try and do too much. Unless you already schedule stuff in. Again, that's already part of your money-making process. Do what you can. And with that response video, do your best to answer as best as you can with the knowledge that you have at the time. You're not always going to know the answers to absolutely everything. Do your best with the knowledge and the wisdom that you have as the expert that you are. And then I'm going to take you to, and then once you've done that response video, each response video should answer one question. Okay. So once you have done that response video, Do your best to minimally edit, because this is all about timing. This is all about getting it out as quickly as possible. So this video can be as long or as short as you want. The algorithms across the world have shown us that it does not have to be a short, snappy, fast video to get people clicking. If they watch the viral video, they want to know more. They want to know the story. They want to know the context. They want to know more. So take that advantage. So, and take that opportunity with that response video to, so for example, if there were way too many questions or if it was all over the place in regards to response, then film a series of them. With that first 3 to 5 seconds of that viral video, for context, again, people to have that communication, because not everyone is going to see every video you make. I want to stress that to you. They are not always going to see every single video you make. And then once you do that, maybe create a shorter, sharper series that is really poignant. So in the questions that you answer in that series of videos, again, that you release over that first 48 hours, you take that opportunity to group them into the type of questions together. So people can, again, get context, but you're doing your best to kind of group the main points of the questions. Now, this series can be as little as like 2 videos, or maybe stretching it to say 5. But again, I don't want you to overwhelm yourself and stress yourself out in that first 48 hours. So then once you've done that, and again, the thing will roll, the things will continue, the things will keep going. But I'm going to tell you now that feeling of recognition and like surprise and delight is great. Do not let that cloud everything else that you're doing with your personal brand. Do not let it pull your focus away from things that are, for example, paid gigs, paid clients, paid meetings. You focus on them first, because that's what they're paying you for. They're paying you money. Take that opportunity. And if you are having opportunities from this virality to speak on podcasts, on articles, or maybe taking the opportunity to do radio, whatever you're being asked to do, take the opportunities where you can. Again, do not have that overshadow any of your currently locked in and paid opportunities. And say, for example, if something really important comes up, like, I don't know, they've asked you to join something that is like internationally acclaimed, maybe talk to your clients and say, hey, I've just got the opportunity, this came up, can we move you like 2 days down the road, please? Because once you've got that stuff lined up, it is going to take more than 48 hours, and you're able to slot that into your current schedule as is. I'm going to tell you that now. Not from someone who's personally experienced this. Well, I've experienced it to a little bit, but this is what I mean in regards to taking action in those steps. Because your content, that series that's already being posted out, that repurposed, using that repurposed intro and the responses that come with it, you are perpetuating that virality so it can be meaningful. Not just people liking and following and sharing, because to be honest, that doesn't really mean much nowadays. You are trying your best to appear more in the algorithm, keep the thing going so that they book in a session with you, that they book you as a speaker, that they pay for your lead magnets, they take action that you want them to take, they join your email list. You want them, you kind of want to get them off platform to be able to give them more context and have them enjoying your ecosystem. You need to take advantage of that. And you do that by appearing in their algorithms and appearing in their feed. You need to get in front of their faces, and you need to be constant and clear. So great. It's been 48 hours. Woo! You survived. I'm proud of you. So from here, now what? So here, you've spent the 48 hours. You've got the original viral content. You've commented. You've responded. You've answered questions. You've answered DMs, emails, pings, what have you. You have captured that in screenshots. You have then used that as an evidence to be able to create a response video, or maybe a series of response videos to answer people's questions, of which you will get more questions. You will get more questions from those videos, because the algorithm is pushing stuff that people really want to see. And the continuation of story is what people love. Now that first 48 hours is done, you can breathe a little bit. Not really. From here, step 3 is repurposing. You are going to use that same piece of content that went viral. And you know how I mentioned before about the other platforms, it may not necessarily work? Well, let's take the opportunity to give it a shot. Give it a try. You could do this within the 48 hours, but I'm trying not to overwhelm you here, because that's what we're here for. So in that, do your best to take that viral content and do slight tweaks to fit the platform. Different audience, different message, same pockets of people. And you're going to do that opportunity to see what happens. You're running an experiment to see what those other platforms. Now, I don't want you to be dismayed in the event that the other platforms do not go viral. It may, there's a possibility, but I don't want you to be disheartened if it doesn't work. Because, things happen, perpetual happens, but you've already put in the work in that first 48 hours to continue the focus. And then from there, as the expert that you are, you have a decision to make. You can, so you've already repurposed it to other platforms and seeing how they go. And then again, you can use the repurposed content that you've already made. Oh, see where we're going here? And repurpose that too. Oh, if there's again, answering the same questions, people are going to have the same questions. On different platforms, they're going to have the same questions. Then from there, you've done your response series. So you've done the viral video. Awesome. Great. You've kept the conversation going. Awesome. Great. You've captured that content as proof for future you. You'll be very proud of that. Then from there, you have also taken the opportunity to do a response video or response series. Then from there, there is a bit of stress. There's a bit of worry about, if I just go back to my old content that didn't magically go viral, will everything fall apart for me? And I want you to breathe out. And I want you to feel like that is a lot of stress to put on yourself and your content and your team if you have one, or all of the stress to put on just you. Virality is not going to last forever. And I want you to admit that. And to be honest, with this increased attention on your personal brand and your offerings, you are probably going to have a big change in the amount of sales that you have, the amount of lead gen inquiries that you have, the amount of email in your email list. This is like a good boost to your numbers, to your leads. Awesome, great. But I want you to focus on them, because these are the people that have given you money. These are the people that have booked in with you. These are the people who have bought from you. They're the people to keep attention of. Realistically, your focus should then go to your email list, should go to your services, that other things that are like a real core of what you do. Because from here, and with this virality, no matter what platform that you did, and again, setting things up properly, of course, you can talk to me, Zoe Wood, your video confidence coach, to set them up properly. Your sales rhythm is going to change. And from here, you have done a couple of things. So we've done everything that we've talked about. And the next posts after this, I'm going to ask you to make a little bit of a change. So my usual default for most people on social media, because again, social media is not necessarily a sales generating tool. I mean that wholeheartedly. It is more of a proof tool. It is more of an evidence tool. So what I like to do, especially on social media platforms, is every 10 posts, one of them is going to be a strict sales post. And when I say a strict sales post, you're going to tell people, this is my offering, this is what it can do. Awesome. Now, these 9 other posts can give you directions as to, or maybe some features or some benefits that allude to that final product, but they're all audience focused, audience based. And you normally sell one every 10 posts. But during this viral window, now, like I said, first 48 hours are incredibly crucial. But once you've done that, my recommendation is to, during that viral window, take the opportunity, take the eyeballs, and take the intent that are both there, sitting there waiting for you, and move any sales posts to every second post, just for that viral window. Not for the rest of time, just for that, say, next 2 days, next week, whatever happens. Take the opportunity to have that cycle going a little bit faster. Why? Because you've got the eyeballs. Now, as I said, the virality will naturally fade, but you'll have people who know about what you do and why you do it and the offerings that you have, which is really important. And then from there, once the viral window has died down for you, now it's going to happen to everyone, so don't panic. From there, you will probably not be panicking because you will have sales. You will have, because you've followed my advice, right? You followed these steps that I've given you, and you are actively taking on that challenge. And with that focus, you will be booked out for however long. Whatever it is, you have proved that you know what you're doing. Then you can go back to your explicit once every 9 post sales cycle. And that's okay. That's the point. So the viral window is done. Now I want you to breathe. Take the opportunity, hug your family, hug your friends, hug your staff, and say, we survived. Well done. Now here's the twist ending that I'm going to give you. Yes, it may seem like the credits have rolled, it's a sad ending, the viral window has ended, your virality has disappeared, evaporated into the ether. What's this? An after credit scene. And the after credit scene says, your one viral hit does not necessarily mean a personality change. You don't need to burn down your entire business just to chase it. But you can go viral again. Dun 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 dun! Sequel! Yes! Let's time for a sequel! Sequel! And guess where we are? Now, from here, your viral window has dissipated. You've taken the time. Awesome, great, beautiful. You've used it effectively as you can. You've gotten evidence. You've gotten proof. And most importantly, you have communicated with your audience. You haven't gone quiet. You haven't gone dark. You have continued to communicate. Then from there, you are going to set a reminder in your calendar, or if you are scheduling using a scheduler of any kind, you are going to schedule this in 3 weeks out. And then again, around the 2-month mark, you are going to repost the same content. Because there is an incredibly strong chance that it is going to lift everything again. If it goes viral once, it is going to go viral again. And the algorithms that are perpetuating this are not loyal. And the people running them often don't know what they're doing either. It's very much a black box. So I want you to keep in mind throughout this entire process, no matter how many steps of mine that you are following or not, build for an audience, not a platform. Which is why I highly recommend taking that opportunity to follow up by responding to comments in a video format, actively turning that either into a video or a series of videos, and keep that momentum going. Once you finish that series, take that opportunity to sell, follow stuff in that same oeuvre. You don't have to stay to the same thing forever. I want to stress that. But if you've got stuff that is related to the viral topic or conversation, which it probably is because you are the expert, you are going to use other pieces of content that relate to that subject matter because people are attuned to that subject matter. And if you don't, get making it quick. And in that opportunity, you are then going to do a hard sell every 2 posts. Why? Because people are happening. Now, I can understand people's worry about, a hard sell, isn't that bad? Isn't that going to turn people off? No. You've got people asking questions. You've got people engaged with what you have. You're already sending them to your website, to your email list, to something that you control. They are taking their own volition to make these steps for you. The best thing you can do is inform them. To do that, you need to do a bit of a hard sell and be very clear about it. Because virality has to do something for you. Your sales, your signups, your leads, your growth, your speaking invitations. If it doesn't, it was free entertainment on someone else's platform. Your viral post should work for you. And when that window or that storm or that chaos hurricane clears, take the opportunity to have that real second win by posting it again. Because if it hits once, you found a vein, and I want you to mine it. I want you to take that opportunity to maybe over the next, month, if you don't have a lot of content that speaks to that problem, speaks to that solution, speaks to whatever you were focusing on in that viral video, maybe take the opportunity to record some more stuff for that. Or repurpose older content that speaks directly to that. Now, I don't want you to magically, due to this virality, become the insert theme here person. Yes, that can be one of your traits, especially if you're getting the opportunity to speak on other platforms or stages or what have you. I want the best for you. So in doing so, you need to take action on this and do it as soon as you possibly can. Reply to your comments as fast as you can, obviously with the energy that you can, and screenshot that love for later. Do your best to pull those one, two, maybe 5 common questions and repurpose that into videos that open with the original hook and answer, and make sure to answer those in those response questions. Then from there, do your best to sell every second post during that spike. Not every 10, but every 2. You've got the energy, you've got the people focused. Take an opportunity of that virality. Usually it's very quick and very fleeting. Take that opportunity. And while you're at it, post that viral video on other platforms. See what happens. It may do nothing. Be prepared for that. In the event that it does do something, you already have a series of videos that respond to people asking questions. Look at that! Look at you! Well done! You're repurposing the content that you posted for that video, but you're also answering people's questions. And again, we are driving leads, we are driving sales, we are driving interest. People from here are going to sign up to your email list, are going to take your offer on the whatever lead magnet. They're going to take that opportunity to make steps. And then from there, you are going to set yourself reminders or schedule in the future that same viral post so you can take the opportunity for it to go viral again, because it will. Granted, it may not go super viral like it did the first time. That is okay. That is okay. Breathe. You're just going to take the opportunity to get the viral hits as they continue to go. And as those viral hits spike, you can then use those posts, those repurposed answer posts, then cycle in those sales posts, and maybe fresher posts that maybe answer specific questions as things have changed. What has happened since the last time that viral post happened? Has there been any changes to the story, any additions, any sequels to that story? You have the power. This is your content. This is your stuff. This is your story. You have the opportunity to make this happen again and again and again and again. You can do this. I believe in you. Thank you for joining me on this episode. If you have gone viral, please do reach out to me and let me know if this method hits, if this situation hits. And for those of us who haven't had a viral piece of content, I want to stress to you that going viral is not the aim. Going viral has a tendency of bringing in people who are not your chosen audience, your target people, and it can get a bit overwhelming sometimes, especially if you are not dressed as the norm, if you do not act the norm, or if you are perceived to be a little bit out there, a little bit kooky in some direction. You are going to get hate. But I want you to know that your personal brand is stronger than that, and no matter what hate you get served, you can deal with it. Because you are doing your best. You are trying and doing more than them. And instead of giving you an opportunity to go to any related podcast episodes, I want you to follow that first link in the description for me. Yes, that first link. And check out the lead magnet that I have associated with this offering. It is not just a PDF. To be honest, at the time I'm recording this, I haven't actually made it. But I wanted to give you a case study of Donna so you can get a bit more details about how, of what happened to her and her story. I also want you to just take the opportunity to have this in your back pocket. Have it in a Google Drive, I want you to be able to use this as something that you can access in the future when you know you're going to go viral, because you are going to go viral. Hopefully in a good way. And if not, you're going to do it again and again and again and again and again and again, baby! Oh. And if in the event that you have gone viral and Let's say you didn't follow these steps and you're feeling a little bit put out. Don't worry. It's okay. I want to invite you to join me on a disco chat. You can use that second link in the description to book a disco chat with me, which is 13 minutes, and let's see what we can do for your personal brand next time you go viral. Because if you've done it once, you can do it again, and I can help you do it again. I'm Zoë Wood, your video confidence coach, helping you shine as the obvious choice using your personalized content engine. Because that's what it is. It's an engine. And I'm your mechanic. Yeah. Or niche down, depending on who you speak to. And that still holds true. But I like to take a slightly different perspective on it. And I like to, when communicating with people who maybe are new to building their personal brand, again, everyone has a personal brand. Sorry for the cutoff there, Zoe. We are finishing up today because I've gone a tad bit over time. Gone viral now. What episode went a little bit longer than I planned, but I think you can see where I was going with that. And even though I have not created the lead magnet that will help and support people, I intend to work on that and get that done for you as soon as I possibly can. In the meantime, I want to thank everyone for their comments, their questions, their thoughts, their ideas for topics, and throughout today's live stream, and of course after live stream. Hashtag replay squad. If you have left me a comment, don't worry, I will do my best to answer it as quickly as I possibly can. If you have missed any part of today's live stream, you can watch or listen to the whole thing on all platforms. You can see the link in the description, or just check out the show notes and you will see the best version there sitting, waiting for you on the platform. Right there to go. Why? Because it's my website and I want to make it a good experience for you. Come join me. You can find that website at vcc.training/camera-ready-confessions. Now, let's move on to next week, where we're talking about help, my videos are invisible. Now, I have to remember. And this is where I edit myself fading in. Nothing like putting time and energy into a video and hearing that. Nothing feels worse. Absolutely nothing. And then we fade out, and then we fade back in, and then we cut back in. You post your videos diligently, waiting patiently. I'm right here. And barely anyone sees it, let alone engages with it. So you tweak the hook, the bit at the start, you sharpen the edits, you change the caption, maybe even scrap the whole idea together because you are done. But your real issue is not effort. I'm going to tell you that. You put in a lot of effort. It is how your message is landing with a stuffy and crowded feed. God forbid. When your content is not clear and grounded, it is quickly skipped before it has a chance to connect with anyone. In this upcoming Camera Ready Confessions, I, Zoë Wood, your video confidence coach, tells you why your videos end up invisible and what is actually happening in those first few precious seconds. Unlike this one. Unlike this video. Your what? Unlike this video. What you'll get, unlike this video. Unlike this video. What is getting in, unlike this video. You'll find out what is getting in your way that, unlike this video that you're watching right now, you'll find out what is getting in your way of being seen, understood, remembered, and more importantly, trusted. You've come this far, haven't you? Even when you're doing all the right things, I can teach you how to do the other right things. You can watch it live at Friday at 10 a.m. Melbourne time, or you can catch the replay whenever it suits. Thank you everyone for joining me. Confess your camera sins next week, same time, same place.